I hope you guys like salad because that seems to be the theme for this week's What's for Dinner. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, tips for all shades of mom life, and in today's video I am back to share with you some What's for Dinner clips. This time around I have 11 different dinner nights to share with you guys, but half of those nights have salad on the plate. I told you guys that I was doing so good. After losing well over 40 pounds and everything that we had gone through when we first moved here, I still hadn't put on any weight. Even through the holidays, I was still maintaining where I was and losing. And then quarantine got me like, I don't even know, and I'm eating my feelings. A friend of mine said, that's it, I've had a rough day, I'm gonna go and eat my feelings. And that has stayed with me because I pretty much feel like that's what I have done the last month and a half. And so that's it. I am full-fledged on a mindset to get back to where I was and losing more. And so you're gonna see a lot of salad on this plate, but I also made that blue cheese dressing from Dat Keto Lady, which is one of the things that are on this plate that you're seeing right here. And that was a game changer for me as far as salad. But on this night, we had done like a surf and turf for dinner, and shrimp is always a treat for me because for the longest time we weren't even bringing seafood into the house because of my husband's allergy. So when we saw the shrimp in HEB, my husband was like, hun, you have to get it. It was these big, huge, succulent, bacon wrapped shrimp, but it was around a cream cheese stuffed piece of jalapeno. So it was like absolutely the epitome of amazing to me. And it said $3.25 on the little sticker. So we assumed that was the price. And I thought that was the weirdest price ever. Yeah, but it was the expiration date. They were $16, you guys. So I savored every single moment of those shrimp along with that steak that we had. That was a ribeye that I had gotten that I was dying to do. So it paired perfectly with that shrimp. And then there is that Keto Lady's blue cheese dressing that I made in a meal prep, which I'll link up above. And I made my own croutons with the rest of that pumpernickel rye bread that I used for St. Patrick's Day, and I put that with salad, and that meal was amazing, you guys. Just simply amazing, especially under quarantine. This was one heck of an expensive dinner between the steak and the shrimp, but it was an enjoyable night, and we will definitely remember this meal that we ate. That was like the Last Supper during quarantine. So this was another night that I truly enjoyed because I tried something new. So this recipe right here is a recipe that I have in my cookbook that's always linked down below, but that is my cheesy bacon chicken, but I did something a little bit different this time. And instead of wrapping the bacon on the inside, I wrapped the bacon and the cheese on the inside, and I actually think I liked that a little bit better. And I've been doing it the same way all of the time, and I'm not sure if I have this in a video somewhere. I think in a vlog, so if I do, I'll link it up above so you guys can check it out. But this recipe is so delicious, and it's very, very simple, just using cream cheese and bacon and some cheddar cheese and chicken and Ritz crackers for like a crumbs. They really are so good. And I just paired it with that rainbow cauliflower that I get from Trader Joe's and some waffle fries that we melted some cheese on, a little sour cream, salt, and pepper, and it was absolutely delicious. But I really enjoyed taking my own personal recipe and tweaking it. It was a good night for sure. Another good night was these orange marmalade pork chops. I can't talk enough about these pork chops, you guys. These are the pork chops that I did in that oven freezer meal video with Vanessa, so I'll link that for you guys as well. But the orange marmalade paired with that pork is just one of the most dynamite flavor combinations, and it's super easy. After it marinated, it was just in the oven for 30 minutes and it was good to go. So loved that. And then some more homemade croutons on some romaine with cucumber and tomato. That's pretty much my go-to. Sometimes I'll sprinkle cheese on top, and then more of that blue cheese dressing. That blue cheese dressing seriously is a life changer. I'm out of it. I need more. Now we're on to a night that probably looks like not much of anything, but that's because there's completely nothing but carbs inside of that bowl. And if I'm going to cheat, I literally portion myself to absolutely nothing. But that is baked ziti. That night we were pretty much out of salad greens. I hadn't gone back to H-E-B and stuff till another day or two after that. And so I just literally had the smallest portion of baked ziti. So I have a cooking video for that as well. So I'll link that down below if you guys want to check out how to make my baked ziti. But this was absolutely delicious, but completely against everything that I'm trying to do for myself right now. So I just had the smallest portion, but it was still super good. And then this, you guys, is Easter dinner on repeat. So if you watched my Easter vlog or whatever, I kind of mentioned that I had some little back thing going on and I had a hard time vlogging. Well, I took a muscle relaxer and slept through dinner. So Daryl and Jake took care of getting the table and everything set up, but I never ate. And so this was the next day, me enjoying leftovers. And that, you guys, is lamb breast, which this was the first time ever eating it. It was all that I can get, but I love lamb on Easter. And it came out absolutely perfect. I found a recipe on Pinterest, so I'll link it down below for you guys to check out. But it was really good, and it was a little fatty up top, but down near the bone was very tender meat, just like a country style rib. And then I had just made some seasoned cauliflower, so we had that. And then of course some salad where I diced up a little bit of the extra cheese that we had left over from the cheese and pepperoni and cracker platter that we had out during appetizers on Easter, with some of that blue cheese dressing and bacon bits that I found at the Dollar Tree, and then some applesauce. I have leftover like cinnamon applesauce from the kids that I save for when mom wants applesauce. And that was our Easter dinner, and it was super delicious. Now this is Mississippi chicken, and for some reason I feel like this is not a very clear video and the chicken almost looks a little dry, but this was a video I took with my phone in 4K and sometimes it doesn't convert well to my computer. But I will link my Mississippi chicken video down below for you guys. But this is probably my all-time #1 hands down crock-pot meal, and I've converted my husband, who doesn't like any kind of dark meat, into liking thighs when I braise them and give them a crisp in the pot and then throw them in the crock pot and add those seasonings. It's so simple, you guys, and we do it all the time, and it seriously is a house favorite. And I always serve it over my mashed potatoes with some corn. I love corn with my mashed potatoes, and I love the pepperoncinis, and we probably do this recipe at least once a month and nobody ever complains and everybody loves it, and honestly so do I. So, and it's easy, so it's always on the menu. All right, now we are on to chicken parm, and this particular night I didn't do pork rinds for myself. I was really so lazy, and I hate that, but I didn't want to do two separate things. But generally when I do my chicken parm, I do pork rinds for my own breadcrumbs, but I didn't there, and that's just a salad yet again, just the way I've done every other time in this stinking clip that you guys have seen, because I'm trying to live off of salad. But that baked ziti video has how I make my chicken parm as well, and I made a big pot of sauce, and that was my own sauce. I feel like my own sauce changes everything. I asked my husband, hey, how was the chicken parm? And he said it is always amazing, but it's such a game changer when you use your sauce, because anybody can make chicken cutlets, but your sauce on top with the melted cheese, it's just so good. So that's one of my personal favorites. I think I've mastered that recipe for sure. And then here is my chicken soup with some BLTs. We are big in this house on soup and sandwiches. We probably do that at least once a month as well. Sandwiches are super easy and everybody loves them. And I'm always making broth in my house. I think this is so funny. Watch, I move the bowl and the sandwich starts to slowly slide as I'm talking to you guys. But those are some rolls that I had in the freezer, and it's just lettuce and tomato and mayo and some bacon. And that's probably the first roll I've had in forever, so I don't know where my balance is. Like I said, this is quarantine, really just I am off balance, you guys, but that was one heck of a good sandwich. Not gonna lie, every once in a while giving into the bread has been what's gotten me through these crazy times. And then, like I said, my chicken soup, I always have carcasses, so I always have broth and veggies on hand, so that is always a go-to meal in our house as well. All right, so now on to stroganoff. I have a cooking video for this as well, so I'll link it down below. And that is my cream corn that is in my cookbook, but I also changed that up again. In my cookbook, I leave the kernels of corn whole and I just stew it for a while. This time I stuck it in the food processor and tried to give it like a little bit of a different texture. I didn't actually like it this way. I should have gone back and added a little bit more heavy cream, thinned it out. It made it a little thicker because it opened up the membranes of the corn and like made it a little thicker, but it was still really good and I love the flavor was there, but I have to master it if I'm going to make it creamier, like the kind that you would get out of a can. And then that is the salad I've been doing that I showed you guys, except that has spring mix that I got from Costco. And then that's some Thousand Island dressing. And then again, I have a recipe video for my Stroganoff, which is only 6 ingredients and super easy and perfect for a quarantine meal. Now, this is another meal, you guys, that pretty much got me weak in the knees. I forgot how much I love corned beef, and I only make it during the time of St. Patrick's Day. And I don't know why I do that to myself, but when I did the crock pot freezer meals with Vanessa, I did corned beef, and I made one that I did right then and there with Reubens, and then one that we put for a freezer meal. And I made this in the crock pot, and the potatoes that were in that bag, I took them out of the crock pot and put them on broil in the oven and made them crispy and put that in the bottom of the bowl, and I layered some sauerkraut on top and then the cooked corned beef and a little bit of Thousand Island dressing and Maron. That was like so good. It just encompasses St. Patrick's Day in a bowl, or it's almost like an open-faced Reuben, and I just got my little bit of carbs in that potato, but potatoes are a vegetable, so you know. But I love it. I love it. I loved it. It was so, so good, and I can't talk enough about it. And then the last meal that I have for you is a combination of my homemade and then Panda Express. So another crock pot meal. We relied on a lot of freezer meals because we had them, so why not? Is this ginger garlic chicken. And I wasn't the largest fan of it the second go around. I liked it a little bit better, but it just had this weird aftertaste to me. I'm not sure if it was from marinating too long. But needless to say, my powerhouse is that fried rice. And I have a cooking video for that, although that is pretty old and I've mastered it even more since then. So I'll have to do an updated version, but I absolutely love my fried rice. And again, I did that chicken with it. It was okay, but wasn't really the greatest fan. And then on the way home, I had my husband stop at Panda Express. They have a drive-through, and I just had him pick up like a few extra things because I felt like that chicken really shrunk down and my kids aren't huge on rice. So I just wanted a few extra things. And for like 15 bucks, we were able to get some lo mein and then some egg rolls and then these just plain old cheese rangoons. And I absolutely love those. One of my favorites. And they had sweet and sour sauce, which isn't duck sauce, but it'll do. And it was so super good. And I totally enjoyed it. And it was almost like having takeout, but right here at home. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I will try and continue doing at least a what's for dinner once a month here on the channel. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.